Just go fucking hell. This girl actually said that word, so. Fuck. You know, it just goes. No, it's like it's a UCK. No, only I can say it. Fuck. Her lips are too big than mine.